Got to be free. To the promised land. I told you. Someday, one day, got to be free. Going to the promised land. Another party. Take us free and roll. Do good. Be good, do good. You will never perish. Be good, do good. You will never perish. I'm back. Live and direct, always with reggae music. Always 20 seconds later. It's getting hot. Woo! Certain things you need to know in order to enjoy the following. In order that the great electro-biological freaking dance of bees all around me. Go, 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 bye-bye. Next, go. Or you're gonna get hit. Go. Or I'm gonna chase you. I'm not gonna kill her, but not gonna let her stunt me. In order that the great electro-biological dance goes smoothly, each living human must play his role, must play butterfly, must play his role sincerely as it is dictated by nature. Let me emphasize it by comparing this duty. Oh, there, started their machine again. The action of a gear that operates within the mechanism of several other pieces. If each being must live his life, it is not in itself an end without tribute, since that life is seated on others and must serve as support yet for others more. Each living being on earth is an essential part of the great electro-biological machine. If one part fails, the whole machine is affected. If the complexity of life in the vegetable as well as in the animal world, the electric influences that exist cannot be much unraveled, we cannot immediately point to the actual result of any inequilibrium that may exist and thereby cause an imbalance to the proper function of life. Nevertheless, we can notice certain manifestations, certain states, conditions that themselves hide infinity of others. Look at how nature commands life in its pure, simple way. To see this, let us return to the forest for a moment. The plants and the animals live together and help each other. Everything is symbiotic. Nothing is lost or created in the forest, but the humus is a great transformer and a great transmatador of the living through those that have lived. For these links to be completely interrelated, each must be accomplishing the mission as he should. It all goes smoothly if man does not contradict it. If a plant is fed chemicals, its electrical resistance is greatly modified. The animal that will feed on it will also be affected. There is some correlation between these two consumers. Would the wild animals remain untouched if they did not live without this interference as man experienced? 23rd letter. Wild animals, if separated from civilization, live a healthy life. In the wild, the sanitary state of animals is excellent, especially if it has not been soiled. If it has not been soiled by the touch of man. Despite conditions seemingly uncomfortable to our eyes, and probably because of these conditions, the wild animals know no sickness. This privilege benefits is the result of its accomplishing its right to life by the proper exchange of its electric mediums. Man, on the contrary, directs himself to other missions. The animal, not so intelligent, is an integral part of the earth and acts his role without interference, and he does not isolate himself from the earth as man does. He does not abuse his body, and he is constantly exchanging electricity, allowing the electrobiological occurrence. His feet are in contact with the earth. His feet are in contact with the earth. And his coat of fur is in contact with the cosmos. Everything works without any hindrance. That's why we wear rubber shoes, to isolate us from the current of the earth. This is the reason that the wild animal has conserved his health. Nature does not nurture sickness. Each life is a part of the symbiose of life linked to the all others. The wild animals also has as a diet the proper elements for the continuity of his metabolism that works perfectly due to the action of the sacred mission. Electricity is constantly being flowed through his body. Except for rare occasions, his food is consumed almost still alive, full of electricity also that is passed on into him for a better source of life. The vegetarian animals eat grasses, while these are charged with electricity and the sap is at a full rise. The bird eat their flying insects on the wing. They never touch a dead insect. The caterpillars eat live leaves. No dead ones, that's true. The grain-eating animals get the benefit of grains that contain life encapsulated. Even among the domesticated animals, these still have the instinct to try to eat live grass if they can reach it at all, in preference to the dry food often given to them. Once I tested my chicken, I threw some dead worms among some live one for them to eat. They immediately jumped on the live worms and ate them readily, but they never touched the dead ones, preferring to go and find better on their own. The same thing occurred with my horse in his pasture. We had cut the grass, and it was neatly piled for future storage. He insisted on eating the stubs left on the ground. Later in the barn, he insisted on choosing the freshest. I noticed some selective choice of my dogs as I fed them raw meat. At times, they would jump on it, and other times they would be hesitant before finally eating it. I found out that it was the fresh meat that they preferred, as compared to meat that had been refrigerated for some time. I then noticed that they would bury the meat that they often lifted their nose to. I thought at first, like everyone, that it was simply a storage of food on their part. I realized later that the way they choose to eat they choose to heat it in preference after it had been re-electrified by the telluric current, which had conveyed some potential health benefit by absorbing these currents within it. I was astounded to see how my dogs knew how to turn dead meat into live meat. I assume that all wild animals know what to do with the excess of some of their own when they have too much at one time of something hard to find some other time. I'm out. After we'll keep going with there's a few letters left. I might come back tonight to finish that. I'm out. See ya.